Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Maddie and today we're going to be talking about the time I got bullied by parents and why I quit softball with a week left. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off by giving you guys a background so it all makes more sense. So I grew up playing softball my whole entire life. I loved it so much until I got to high school. When I got there, the coach, let's just say, was not very good. She played a lot of favorites. It had nothing to do with how good you were or anything like that. It was mainly if she liked you or not. She didn't really know much about softball. The whole time she's been there, she has yet to have a winning season, and she has yet to get fired, which is, if you go to my school, you would know that if you don't win as a coach, they're gonna find someone else, but her best friend is the athletic director, so she'll stay. But she would turn all the girls against each other. One time, after we lost multiple games in a row, like we usually did, she made us sit down and make a lineup of what we thought people should be, and that's just completely unfair because you have friends on the team that like know each other, and of course they're gonna put their friend down to play. Like, who wouldn't? Like, I would too. But that's just one example of like how she would turn us against each other. I loved softball. It was such a great sport. I don't even know where to start. It's kind of sad, but basically my dad, shout out to him, honestly. He helped me a lot growing up with softball. I had a lot of fun, and it just really breaks my heart that he didn't get to have the end of a senior year like he deserved, and he didn't get to have a banquet because parents and coaches can't keep their mouth shut. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now though that the girls had nothing to do with this. This was a parent and a coach situation. So none of my teammates have anything to do with why I quit or anything like that. So I'm just gonna start by saying that. So now I'm going to explain more about softball. So I was a pitcher, and I also played second base. I basically almost played, like, I would say 75% of the games up until my senior season with a week left. So it was a lot of pressure, and the coach put a lot of pressure on me to perform. She relied on me a lot, and it was really hard, honestly, like, because I was on varsity all 4 years, so like a 14-year-old on varsity pitching against 18-year-olds, like, that's kind of scary. And she depended on me to do it because our other pitcher at the time was injured, and so I was relied on by her, and she put a lot of pressure on me, and that started to make me not like softball as much because I felt like if I didn't do well, us losing was completely on my fault because she would make me feel that way. And it was just a lot. I put up with it for a long time. And another thing is she wouldn't let me hit. So like, keep that in mind because it'll play more into the end of like why I quit, and like you'll understand later. But so I'm just gonna explain now the background of this parent bullying me and what kind of led me to quit. So one game we were losing by a lot, and I'm also gonna put it in there that parents have made comments about me before. They weren't as bad as this one though, so I'm just not even gonna bother those because not worth my time. But so one game I was pitching and we weren't doing so hot, and it wasn't just me, like our whole team wasn't doing that great, and everyone has their off days. Like, no one's gonna do great every single day, and I think everyone knows that except for him apparently. So my parents and some other parents would sit in the bleachers, and other parents would sit kind of far away, like near the outfield. So one day my brother was friends with another girl on the team's little sister, and he was sitting over there by the outfield with them, hanging out with the little girl. And so Peyton's just like sitting there, and out of nowhere he hears a parent start talking about me, and the parent said how much I suck and how I shouldn't be pitching, and we have other pitchers. Keep in mind that he also had two daughters on the team, and one of them was a pitcher. So and nothing against her, she's awesome, love them both. But so my brother goes down and tells my mom, because at the time my dad wasn't at the game, he was out of town but for work. So my brother goes and tells my mom, sitting with other parents. So my mom goes down and confronts him because she's had enough at this point with him because he's made comments before, and so were the other parents that he was sitting with. They would always sit down and talk crap. That's just them. So my mom went down to confront him, and my mom said, "Why are you talking about a child like that? Like, she's not here to defend him." And he said something along the lines of that I suck and that I shouldn't be playing, And my mom said some other stuff that I'm not going to include because she shouldn't have said it, but they like both went back and forth at it. And if anyone knows me, knows that I'm not a very confident person to begin with. Like, I struggle a lot with like insecurities and stuff like that, and I never thought that I was good enough. So like hearing a parent who's supposed to be supporting me say that like really hurt me a lot. So we went to my coach and told her about it. She did nothing. Didn't say a word to him. So that was great. Mainly because she was scared of him because a year previous he made a petition to get her fired. So yeah. So that all happens and I continue on with the season. It was like, I'd say 3 weeks to the end of the season. So I just stuck it out. It was fine. And then, so I'm like playing and my friend and I were starting to realize that we weren't playing as much anymore, and it was kind of weird. It was like what he said actually had an impact on like my playing time and also my friends. So we got to the point where we weren't playing at all, and it came to our big rivalry game, the biggest one of the season, my senior year, my last time ever playing them, and she doesn't play me. And that broke my heart. Like the last time you get to play your rival, not even playing your senior year, whenever you basically played every single game up until that point, it hurt a lot. And I confronted her after the game. It was fine. I thought it was okay. The next game was senior night, so I wasn't about to quit then. So I made it to senior night. I played awesome. It was like one of my best games I've ever had. I finally had my confidence back. I was doing great. And then the next game comes and I'm not playing. And I was just kind of really upset. Like I didn't understand and it just made no sense to me. But I was batting. Keep that in mind. So I was hitting and I never have hit before. I mean, I was doing perfectly fine, like don't get me wrong, but like it was just weird. And then so after that game, I had all intentions of quitting because she just didn't have my back, and to be honest, it didn't feel like many of the girls did either. I could be completely wrong with that. Like there definitely was some girls on the team that definitely really liked me and they were on my side, but then there was some where I didn't feel like I had the support. So I just came to the conclusion that it wasn't worth it to play anymore. The amount of anxiety that coach gave me was insane. I lost sleep because I thought I wasn't good enough. I wasn't eating anymore because I was so stressed. Each practice was like a mini torture. Like it was awful. It was so bad. I'm sorry my voice is shaking. It's just like hard to talk about. And so after that game I decided I was gonna quit. So I talked to the coach. She tried to convince me not to. She told me that I no longer was going to be necessary to pitch, but I was going to hit now because that's where I was needed. But if you remember, I haven't hit until that point, so it made no sense. She just doesn't know what she's talking about. And it breaks my heart that I did that though. Like, I don't regret it one bit. It wasn't worth it. It was my last 2 weeks of senior year and I was miserable. I hated my life. I didn't want to be there. I honest to God hated softball by this point. Like it was not worth it to me anymore. Everyone around me knew it was hard, like so bad for me. So I ended up quitting and yeah, that's basically it. And it's kind of sad because my dad never got the senior night he deserved. Not the senior night, the banquet that he deserved. He was always there for me, and he was the best coach I've ever had to this day, and I love him. Sorry. It's just really hard. I know I seem dramatic. Fuck, why am I crying? So basically that's it. I don't know why I'm crying. It's just hard knowing your dad or your parent deserves something that they didn't get. He put so much work into me playing softball, and yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching. Bye.